today's video we're going to be doing some weave practice on some of Weld Metal's coupons. I'm using the HTP, so I've got my amperage filmed in the arc shots so that you can see what I'm running. The arc shots might be a little weird. What I did on this one so that you could see it a lot better is I welded two passes. I did one to where it was kind of bright so you could see the whole. I did one where it was really bright so that you could see all the lines right here. You know, you can watch it as I'm welding past. You can see the coloring. And then I came over and did a real dark one and welded to where you could really see the arc shot so you could see the puddle and the fill rod going into it. And then I masked them together to where you can see it all at once. So if you see it just a little bit off, like when I move the tungsten, it kind of looks a little weird. That's why. It's two arc shots in one. Did the best I could matching them together. But I've got the amperage running the whole time so you can see that. You should be able to see the puddle. Let me know how you like that. If it helps a lot more, I'll keep trying to do that way. they've got your regular double dab, your triple dab, and your quad dab. So they're front and back. So after you get done welding on this side, you can flip them over, practice on the back side, and then after you're done with practicing your weaves and stuff, you can actually use them as your regular stainless practice coupons. So it's pretty cool. I think it's like $2 more, something like that, to get the weave coupons, and then you can use them as regular ones after. So if you're into doing weave coupons, you can just get those. But what's nice is it helps you practice getting that perfect point at which to dab. So on your regular double dab, basically you're just going to be adding filler right at the edge when you get here to each corner. On the triple, you're going to be doing the same thing, but then where this middle line is, where it meets, you're going to be dabbing there. And me personally, when I do a triple, I like to just barely touch the fill rod into that puddle right there in the center. So on the sides, I'm actually pushing some fill rod in, and then when I get to the center, I just touch it once, get to the edge, add a lot, or not a lot, but you know, basically twice as much as I'm adding in the center. And that way, when you get to that center and you're dabbing, it's basically getting twice as much filler anyways as on the sides, because you're hitting it twice as much. So I just add a little bit, otherwise you're gonna have this big crown right here in the center. So to me it looks better when you just add more on the sides, just a touch on the center, and you know, keep going. Then on the 4 dab wide, you're just running straight across. So 1, 2, 3, 4, move up, 1, 2, 3, 4, move up, and you're adding the same amount of fill rod each time. And I don't add that much so that I can run as fast as I can through the whole thing. Otherwise it'll start graying out. See, because right here on the edge, there's not as much room for that material to soak the heat out. So by the time you get here towards the center, you finally have a good heat sink with the rest of the part and whatever you're using on the bottom to suck that heat out to help with the coloring, because the grayness comes from having too much heat in the part, and by the time you leave, it hasn't cooled down enough for the gas coverage to cover the whole thing to get your colors out of it. So I use just this piece of aluminum. It's a really good heat soak. The problem is when you start welding, stainless likes to warp. So by the time you leave here, it starts warping, so that heat isn't getting soaked through or sucked through into the aluminum. So you can either leave it like I do, you can clamp it down, which helps, but the problem is it's kind of in the way when you're doing it. If you're doing weld art, most guys use a big thick chunk of regular steel plate, like 1 inch, 3/4, and then they'll actually put little welds, skip welds, on here and then cut it out afterwards. But that'll really help to soak all the heat out. That's how they can do a big old welding project, and you never really see them stop. You know, they'll just weld over here, because it's soaking that heat out. Alright guys, that does it for today's video. Hopefully this helped you. If it did help you, give me a thumbs up, subscribe if you're not, and hit that bell. That way you get notified every time I upload one of these. Let me know if that new arc shot helped you. I'll keep trying to use that method if it did help. If you have any inquiries, just email me. My email's in the description below. If you want to run some of these coupons, I've got my coupon code in the description below. Alright guys, I'll see you next time.